My treatments have been so great at Deify so far. I've done both underarms and had the half face treatment, including the upper lip and the chin and jawline area, as well as an extra treatment for the underarms to have hyperpigmentation reduced, which included microdermabrasion and an enzyme peel. I've always been interested in having laser hair removal in certain areas, just due to the fact that it takes less time in your routine to not have to shave the underarms and not be constantly worrying if you have little chin hairs or a mustache, which I've probably had since I hit puberty. But it's just something that's always made me feel self-conscious, so just taking that element away has been really nice. I'm really grateful. So I did some research on what laser is appropriate for my skin tone, since I had been interested for quite some time. In the earlier lasers, there was issues with darker skin tones being burned with lasers, so I knew it was a very specific type of laser that needed to be used on my skin, which is called the YAG laser. So as I went through my research, it was evident that Deify has this laser and has special training for their estheticians to use this laser, so I was thrilled. And then upon coming, it's such a beautiful, relaxing environment, and it's beautiful and relaxing in a way that's not ostentatious. It's very welcoming and warm. The girls are sweet and funny, and we always have great little chats. The appointments aren't very long at all. It's about 15 minutes long. And of course, the question about a laser hitting your skin is, what does that feel like? So I was told right off the bat, it kind of feels like a water gun. And I thought, yeah, right. You're saying that to lighten the idea of it, but it literally felt like little water hitting my skin. It was wonderful. And the way that they do it is they just gently increase the treatment so that originally the laser dosage is lighter, and then as your skin's adjusting to it, it increases a little bit to go along with your treatment. It is so wonderful. It's a relaxing experience. You just kind of lay back and let your esthetician do her job, and they're brilliant. I've experienced, I believe, 4 different laser specialists, and they've all been wonderful. If I had one piece of advice, it would be to connect with Deify right now. The one regret I have is waiting as long as I did, because the lasers target dark hairs, and I now have white chin hairs that can't be removed with laser, so I'll have to find an alternative to that. But do it now before any of your hairs turn gray or white, so that you can get a complete removal experience. So as a yoga instructor, yoga activist, I am constantly in little shorts and in little tops, not so much little, but underarm exposing tops, right? So even if I started to practice in long sleeves, by the time you work up that heat, that energy, you may want to take that off. And in the past, I have intentionally left that top on so as not to expose the underarm, maybe even making myself uncomfortable or more warm than I would want to be. Teaching yoga in the park this summer, teaching yoga at a camp this summer, it was so freeing to know that I was not going to have to deal with that issue. So it's just from a standpoint of a professional, and not wanting, people to be staring at your underarms, and, it's possible that they would feel uncomfortable too, or be distracted by that. So that was a wonderful element, just to eliminate that completely from my mindset and any worry about that. As well as being a busy mom of 2 little boys who are very honest and curious, they would ask me about my chin hairs and why I had them, because daddy has a beard, are you supposed to have one too? So I didn't really have a great explanation for that for little ones. So it was really nice to start having these treatments and see very rapidly the results of not seeing these little prickly hairs, these little ingrown spaces, not worrying about having to exfoliate that space as much to make sure the hairs could grow out, and then having tweezers in the car to make sure if they were coming out on my way to a function or something, I would be able to remove them. So it really is like this. It decreased my self-consciousness. I didn't have to be concerned about, with whether I had a mustache or a beard that day, or whether I was going to be teaching yoga in front of students, exposing my underarms. It's been such a relief to have that off of my plate.